Hello, dear friends, and welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. As we begin, I'd love it if you could share in the comments where you're joining from and the time of day it is for you right now. It's always wonderful to witness people tuning in from across the world. Thank you as well to those who have already subscribed and shared their support by liking the videos. It helps more than you know. And please don't hesitate to leave your ideas or requests for future videos. Let's get started. Chapter 1: Understanding the Carbon Cycle Basics. The carbon cycle is a complex and dynamic system that plays a vital role in sustaining life on Earth. At its core, the carbon cycle represents the continuous movement of carbon in various forms through the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere. This intricate process involves several key components: carbon dioxide, organic matter, and various forms of carbon, including fossil fuels. Each of these elements interconnects, forming a web that supports not just individual organisms, but entire ecosystems. Carbon is fundamental to life itself. It acts as a building block for essential biological molecules like proteins, nucleic acids, and carbohydrates. Without carbon, the very structure of living organisms would be impossible. It is present in everything from the air we breathe to the food we consume. As the renowned biochemist Albert Szent-Györgyi once stated, life is not a spectacle or a feast, it is a predicament. This predicament is intricately linked to the balance of carbon in our environment, emphasizing the importance of understanding how it cycles through different systems. Imagine standing in a lush forest, where towering trees and vibrant vegetation are constantly exchanging gases with the atmosphere. This is one of the key sources of carbon in the cycle. Carbon enters the atmosphere primarily through processes such as respiration and combustion. Respiration occurs when living organisms, including animals and plants, convert oxygen and glucose into energy, releasing carbon dioxide as a byproduct. Combustion, on the other hand, results from burning fossil fuels, releasing carbon stored in the earth for millions of years back into the atmosphere. Conversely, the planet also has carbon sinks, which are natural systems that absorb more carbon than they release. Forests and oceans serve as significant carbon sinks, absorbing vast amounts of carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and other processes. The ability of these sinks to sequester carbon is crucial for mitigating climate change, as they help maintain the balance of carbon in the atmosphere. At the heart of the carbon cycle lies the remarkable process of photosynthesis, a phenomenon that transforms sunlight into energy. During photosynthesis, plants, algae, and certain bacteria capture carbon dioxide from the air and, using sunlight, convert it into glucose and oxygen. The glucose produced serves as energy for growth and reproduction, while oxygen is released back into the atmosphere, creating a harmonious exchange essential for life. Photosynthesis can be seen as nature's way of recycling carbon. When plants grow, they store carbon in their tissues, which can then be transferred through the food chain as animals consume the vegetation. When these organisms respire or decompose, the carbon stored within them is released back into the atmosphere, continuing the cycle. This interconnectedness highlights the delicate balance of our ecosystem. As we explore further, we encounter the ocean, an expansive carbon sink that plays a pivotal role in regulating atmospheric carbon levels. Through a process known as oceanic uptake, carbon dioxide is absorbed from the atmosphere by the surface waters of the ocean. Phytoplankton, microscopic marine plants, utilize this carbon in the same way as terrestrial plants, engaging in photosynthesis to produce energy. The ocean not only serves as a reservoir for carbon, but also acts as a buffer, absorbing excess carbon dioxide that would otherwise contribute to global warming. The significance of the carbon cycle extends beyond its immediate effects on the environment. It also influences global climate patterns and weather systems. Fluctuations in carbon levels can alter temperatures, precipitation patterns, and even ocean currents. As the climate scientist Wallace Broecker famously said, "The climate system is an angry beast, and we are poking it with sticks." This poignant metaphor captures the urgency of understanding our impact on the carbon cycle and, by extension, the planet. As we consider the implications of the carbon cycle, it becomes evident that human activities have significantly disrupted its natural balance. Deforestation, industrial processes, and the burning of fossil fuels have increased carbon emissions, leading to a rise in atmospheric carbon dioxide concentrations. This imbalance has far-reaching consequences, including global warming, ocean acidification, and shifts in biodiversity. The interplay between carbon sources and sinks is critical to maintaining equilibrium. When carbon emissions exceed the absorption capacity of natural sinks, the excess carbon accumulates in the atmosphere, intensifying the greenhouse effect. This phenomenon is akin to adding layers to a blanket. Each layer traps more heat, gradually warming the planet. It is important to reflect on how we can contribute to restoring balance in the carbon cycle. Simple actions, such as planting trees, reducing waste, and supporting renewable energy initiatives, can help enhance carbon sequestration and mitigate emissions. Every small effort counts, reminding us that we are not separate from nature, but part of a larger system. As we ponder the beauty of the carbon cycle, it invites us to marvel at the intricate relationships that sustain life on Earth. The cyclical nature of carbon serves as a reminder of our interconnectedness with the environment. Each breath we take, each beat of our hearts, resonates with the rhythms of this cycle. The journey of carbon is not merely a scientific phenomenon, it is a story of life itself, unfolding in every corner of our planet. The carbon cycle also encapsulates a sense of wonder and continuity. From the ancient forests that once flourished millions of years ago, leaving behind fossil fuels, to the vibrant gardens and fields we cultivate today, carbon connects all living things across time and space. It is a reminder that life, in its myriad forms, is a shared experience, interwoven with the history of our planet. In this vast cycle, we find not just a scientific process, but a narrative of resilience. The ability of ecosystems to adapt and respond to changing conditions speaks to the tenacity of life. Yet, this resilience is not infinite. As guardians of our planet, we hold the responsibility to understand and protect the delicate balance of the carbon cycle. Embracing this responsibility opens a path toward a more sustainable future. By fostering awareness of our role within this cycle, we can inspire change and encourage a deeper appreciation for the intricate systems that support life. Together, we can strive to create a harmonious relationship with our environment, recognizing that every action we take reverberates through the cycles of nature. As we move forward in our exploration of the carbon cycle, let us carry with us the knowledge of its significance and the understanding that our actions can impact this delicate balance. The beauty of the carbon cycle lies not only in its complexity, but also in its capacity for renewal and transformation. Let us nurture this cycle with care and intention, ensuring that it continues to support life in all its forms. As we immerse ourselves further into the intricacies of the carbon cycle, it is essential to appreciate the pivotal role of soil as a carbon reservoir. Beneath our feet, the ground is alive with an unseen world bustling with activity. Soil not only supports plant life, but also stores substantial amounts of carbon in the form of organic matter. This organic matter, rich in decomposed plant and animal material, is a vital component in the global carbon balance. Imagine a garden where the soil is dark and crumbly, teeming with earthworms and microorganisms. These organisms play a crucial role in breaking down organic material, releasing carbon back into the atmosphere through respiration or storing it within the soil matrix. This process of decomposition is nature's way of recycling nutrients, creating a rich environment that fosters plant growth. It is estimated that soils contain more carbon than the atmosphere and the vegetation combined, highlighting their significance as a carbon sink. The connection between soil health and carbon cycling is profound. Healthy soils with high organic content can sequester more carbon, while degraded soils are less efficient at storing carbon and can even become sources of carbon emissions. Practices such as regenerative agriculture, which emphasizes soil conservation and biodiversity, can enhance soil's ability to capture carbon. Notable figures in sustainable agriculture, like Alan Savory, advocate for holistic land management techniques that restore soil health and increase carbon storage, painting a hopeful picture of how we can work with nature rather than against it. Envision the cycle of carbon as a vast network, with each component interacting seamlessly. When plants die or are consumed, the carbon stored in their tissues is transferred to the soil. Some of this carbon remains in the soil for long periods, while some is converted back into carbon dioxide through microbial activity, re-entering the atmosphere. This continuous exchange illustrates a delicate balance, where the rate of carbon input must align with the rate of carbon output to maintain equilibrium. As we shift our focus to the role of oceans in the carbon cycle, we encounter another layer of complexity. Oceans absorb approximately a quarter of the carbon dioxide emitted by human activities. Through the process of diffusion, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere dissolves in ocean water, forming carbonate ions that are utilized by marine organisms to build shells and skeletons. This process is essential for the growth of coral reefs, which are among the most diverse ecosystems on the planet. Can you picture a coral reef, bustling with life and color? The intricate relationship between marine life and carbon is essential not only for the organisms that inhabit these waters, but also for the overall health of our planet. Coral reefs act as significant carbon sinks, but they are also vulnerable to changes in ocean chemistry and temperature. As ocean acidification progresses due to increased carbon dioxide levels, the ability of these ecosystems to sequester carbon diminishes, leading to the degradation of coral reefs and the loss of biodiversity. The interconnectedness of terrestrial and marine systems is a reminder of how carbon flows through our planet. When rivers transport organic matter from land to sea, they carry carbon that can be locked away in ocean sediments, creating an additional long-term storage solution. The cycle continues, with carbon being emitted, absorbed, and transformed, weaving through ecosystems in a perpetual motion. As we reflect on the significance of carbon in Earth systems, it becomes clear that the balance of this cycle is vital for maintaining the planet's climate and supporting life. The intricate dance of carbon involves not just the physical and biological processes, but also the influence of human activities. The challenge we face today is not merely scientific, it is a call to action. How can we, as stewards of the Earth, ensure that we contribute positively to this cycle rather than disrupt it? Innovative approaches are emerging to address this challenge. Carbon capture and storage technologies aim to capture carbon emissions before they reach the atmosphere, storing them in geological formations deep underground. While these technologies hold promise, they are not a substitute for reducing carbon emissions at the source. The urgency of transitioning to sustainable practices in energy production, agriculture, and transportation cannot be overstated. As we ponder the future of the carbon cycle, let us be inspired by the words of the late environmentalist Wangari Maathai. It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. My little thing is planting trees. Each of us has the power to influence the carbon cycle through our choices and actions, whether by supporting sustainable practices, advocating for policy changes, or engaging in conservation efforts. Consider the power of collective action. When communities come together to restore forests or implement sustainable farming practices, they contribute to a healthier carbon cycle. Each tree planted not only absorbs carbon dioxide, but also nurtures local biodiversity, enhances soil health, and supports water cycles. This interconnectedness illustrates that our actions resonate far beyond their immediate effects. As we journey through the carbon cycle, we embrace a narrative of responsibility and hope. The complexity of this cycle reflects the intricate web of life on Earth, a reminder that we are all part of a greater whole. The stewardship of our planet demands awareness, compassion, and a commitment to nurturing the delicate balance of carbon. In the coming sections, we will uncover more layers of this cycle, exploring the implications of our choices and the potential for restoration. The carbon cycle is a living story, one that unfolds with each breath we take, a testament to the resilience of life and the power we hold to influence its course. Together, let us continue this exploration, keeping in mind the profound connection we share with the natural world. Chapter 2: The Short-Term Carbon Cycle Explained. The short-term carbon cycle is a vital component of the broader carbon cycle, a dynamic system that governs not only the health of our planet, but also the very essence of life itself. It operates on a timescale that can range from days to years, contrasting with the long-term carbon cycle, which spans centuries to millennia. Picture a vibrant ecosystem, where carbon moves swiftly between various reservoirs in a constant flow, shaping the environment and sustaining life. At the heart of this short-term cycle are two fundamental processes: photosynthesis and respiration. Imagine a sunlit day in a flourishing meadow. Plants, with their green leaves absorbing sunlight, are engaged in photosynthesis, the process that transforms carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into organic matter. This miraculous transformation is facilitated by chlorophyll, the pigment that captures sunlight, initiating a series of biochemical reactions. Through photosynthesis, carbon dioxide combines with water to produce glucose and oxygen. As the great botanist George Washington Carver once expressed, anything will give up its secrets if you love it enough. This love for the natural world reveals the secrets of how energy flows through ecosystems, with plants serving as the primary producers. Now, envision the intricate web of life that depends on these plants. Herbivores graze on the lush foliage, consuming the glucose stored in plant tissues. When they breathe, they engage in respiration, a process that releases energy from the organic matter while returning carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. This cycle of energy transfer is not just confined to herbivores. Carnivores, too, partake in this rhythm, consuming the herbivores and, in turn, exhaling carbon dioxide. It is a beautiful reminder of how interconnected life is, with each organism playing a pivotal role in the flow of carbon. As seasons change, so too does the flow of carbon. Spring awakens the world, and plants burst forth from their winter slumber, their growth accelerating as sunlight becomes more abundant. The increased rates of photosynthesis during this season create a surge of organic carbon, enriching the soil and supporting diverse life forms. With summer's warmth, the cycle continues to flourish, providing ample food for a myriad of creatures. However, autumn arrives, and as leaves turn brilliant shades of red and gold, they begin to fall. The once vibrant foliage becomes a source of organic matter that nurtures the soil. Decomposition, a crucial aspect of the short-term carbon cycle, takes center stage. Microorganisms, such as bacteria and fungi, break down this organic material, releasing carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. This process not only recycles nutrients, but also illustrates the delicate balance of life and decay. Winter casts a quiet spell over the landscape, and the rhythm of the carbon cycle slows. Photosynthesis wanes as daylight diminishes, yet respiration continues. The cold air holds less moisture, and while life may seem dormant, it is far from inactive. The decomposition process persists, albeit at a slower pace, continuing to return carbon to the atmosphere. Natural events also play a significant role in the short-term carbon cycle. Wildfires, though often destructive, can be a natural catalyst for change. These fires release vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, but they also clear land, allowing new growth to flourish in the aftermath. It is a curious balance, destruction paving the way for renewal. As the ecologist John Muir eloquently stated, when we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe. Wildfires, in their fiery chaos, remind us of the interconnectedness of ecological processes. Decomposition, too, is an essential natural event within this cycle. As fallen leaves, dead animals, and organic waste break down, they release carbon dioxide and nutrients back into the soil. This not only enriches the earth but also supports new life. Imagine a forest floor blanketed in decaying leaves, teeming with life. Each organism, from the smallest bacterium to the largest decomposer, contributes to the cycle, illustrating nature's ability to recycle and renew. As we reflect on these processes, it becomes clear how intricately the short-term carbon cycle is woven into the fabric of seasonal changes. The effects of climate play a role as well, influencing the timing and intensity of photosynthesis and respiration. Imagine a world where rising temperatures extend growing seasons, potentially increasing carbon uptake. Yet, the flip side reveals the challenge of increased respiration rates, which could release more carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. It prompts us to ponder, how do we balance the scales in this delicate dance of carbon? The short-term carbon cycle, with its vibrant exchanges and transitions, serves as a reminder of life's resilience and interconnectedness. Each breath we take is a testament to the ongoing processes of photosynthesis and respiration, echoing through the natural world. The vibrant greens of spring, the golden hues of autumn, the stillness of winter, and the renewal that follows all contribute to this dynamic cycle. In every ecosystem, from the depths of the ocean to the heights of the mountains, carbon flows relentlessly, shaping the planet and nurturing life. As we explore this cycle, we are invited to imagine the unseen forces at play, the pulsating rhythm of life that continues unabated. What stories do the trees tell as they reach toward the sky, their leaves whispering secrets of the sun? What hidden worlds lie beneath our feet, teeming with microorganisms engaged in their silent work? The short-term carbon cycle is not merely a scientific concept. It is a living narrative, an ongoing saga of transformation and renewal. Each season brings its own chapter, and as we immerse ourselves in this tale, we begin to appreciate the profound connections that bind all living things. The cycle continues, a testament to nature's ingenuity, resilience, and the intricate web that sustains our world. The exploration of this cycle reveals not just the science of carbon, but also the poetry of life itself, inviting us to reflect on our place within this grand narrative. As we journey through the nuances of the short-term carbon cycle, it is essential to recognize the role of seasonal changes in shaping the dynamics of carbon flow. Each season carries its unique rhythm, influencing the rates of photosynthesis and respiration in profound ways. Consider the vibrant awakening of spring. When the sun ascends higher in the sky and daylight stretches longer, it triggers a surge in plant activity. The warmth revitalizes the soil, coaxing dormant seeds to sprout and leaves to unfurl. In these early days of growth, during what scientists refer to as the green-up phase, photosynthesis reaches its zenith. Plants absorb carbon dioxide in increasing quantities, converting it into carbohydrates that fuel their growth. Imagine the air thick with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, as the landscape transforms into a canvas of vivid greens. This is a time when carbon is being sequestered actively, enriching the earth and sustaining the web of life that relies on these primary producers. As spring gives way to summer, the cycle continues its vibrant dance. The sun's warmth continues to invigorate the plants, leading to accelerated growth and consequently increased carbon uptake. Fields of crops stretch toward the horizon, their leaves shimmering under the sun. In this season of abundance, the rich tapestry of life flourishes. Herbivores graze on the lush pastures, and their populations swell, drawing on the energy stored in plants. Yet, amid this flourishing life, we must consider: how does the balance of respiration and photosynthesis evolve during these warmer months? While photosynthesis is thriving, respiration occurs simultaneously. All living organisms, from the tiniest microorganisms in the soil to the largest mammals, are engaged in this process. They breathe in oxygen and release carbon dioxide, contributing to the atmospheric balance. In essence, summer becomes a testament to the interconnectedness of life, where the exuberance of growth meets the essential act of breathing. As autumn approaches, the landscape begins to shift. The vibrant greens transition into a stunning palette of reds, oranges, and golds. Trees prepare for the colder months ahead, drawing nutrients back into their trunks and roots, shedding their leaves in a process both beautiful and practical. In this act of letting go, the fallen leaves become a source of organic matter, enriching the soil and providing sustenance for countless organisms. Here, decomposition takes center stage, as fungi and bacteria break down this organic material. Imagine the forest floor in this season, a rich carpet of color and life. Tiny creatures scuttle among the leaves, while larger organisms, such as deer and foxes, begin to prepare for the winter months ahead. The decomposition process is a vital part of the short-term carbon cycle, as it returns carbon to the atmosphere and the soil, illustrating the elegant balance between life and death. In this cycle of decay, the words of the naturalist Rachel Carson resonate profoundly. In every outthrust headland, in every curving bay, in every grain of sand there is the story of the earth. Winter casts its serene blanket over the landscape, bringing a stillness that contrasts sharply with the vibrant activity of summer and autumn. With shorter days and colder temperatures, photosynthesis slows dramatically. The once thriving foliage lies dormant, yet life persists beneath the surface. Subterranean microorganisms continue their work, breaking down organic matter and releasing carbon back into the atmosphere. This process, although slowed, is a reminder that life continues even in the quietest seasons. During winter, the flow of carbon becomes a delicate balance. While the cold air holds less moisture, respiration still occurs, albeit at a reduced rate. The chill may inhibit some species, but others find ways to adapt. Imagine the resilience of life in these frosty months: birds migrating south, animals hibernating, and plants conserving energy underground. Each strategy reflects nature's ability to endure through adversity, reminding us of the intricate connections that sustain ecosystems. Natural events, such as wildfires and floods, further influence the short-term carbon cycle. These events may disrupt the delicate balance, but also foster new beginnings. After a wildfire clears a patch of land, the nutrient-rich ash left behind nourishes the soil, encouraging rapid regrowth. This rejuvenation is a testament to nature's resilience, echoing the sentiment of the ecologist Aldo Leopold, who stated, "The last word in ignorance is the man who says of an animal or plant, 'What good is it?'" In the aftermath of such transformative events, life returns, often more vibrant than before. The cycle of carbon flows again as new plants emerge, capturing carbon from the atmosphere and breathing life back into the ecosystem. As we continue to explore the richness of the short-term carbon cycle, we are invited to reflect on its far-reaching implications. How do these seasonal rhythms influence not just the environment but our lives as well? The fluctuations in carbon flow affect weather patterns, agricultural productivity, and even our health. Understanding these connections allows us to appreciate the delicate balance of our planet. The short-term carbon cycle is not merely a scientific concept confined to textbooks. It is a living narrative, a vibrant story unfolding in our own backyards and across the globe. Each season, each event, and each organism contributes to this ongoing saga. As we delve deeper into its intricacies, we recognize the profound relationships that exist within this cycle, reminding us that we are all part of this grand narrative. In the ebb and flow of this cycle, we can find solace and inspiration. The resilience of nature teaches us to adapt, to flourish even when faced with challenges. As we breathe in the fresh air of spring or watch the leaves fall gently in autumn, we are reminded of our connection to this world, a connection that is as vital as the very carbon that sustains us. Chapter 3: Long-Term Carbon Storage and Release. Within the grand narrative of the carbon cycle, long-term carbon storage emerges as a vital chapter, showcasing the intricate dance of geological processes that sequester carbon over vast timescales. As we journey deeper into this subject, let us first explore how sedimentation plays a crucial role in this process. Imagine a tranquil river, meandering through lush valleys and flowing into a vast ocean. As the river carries sediment, it also transports carbon in various forms. When organic matter from plants and animals settles at the bottom, it becomes trapped within layers of sediment. Over time, these layers compress and harden, transforming the organic material into sedimentary rock. This remarkable process can sequester carbon for millions of years, effectively locking it away from the atmosphere. The ocean floor, a silent guardian of carbon, becomes a repository where the remnants of life are preserved. This natural mechanism not only captures carbon, but also plays a significant role in regulating our planet's climate. Geological processes further enhance this long-term storage. Subduction, for example, is a fascinating phenomenon where tectonic plates collide, and one is forced beneath the other into the mantle. During this journey, carbon-rich sediments are subjected to intense heat and pressure, leading to chemical transformations that sequester carbon deep within the Earth. These geological events, shaped by the relentless forces of nature, remind us of the dynamic interplay between life and the planet's physical systems. The role of fossil fuels within the carbon cycle is a double-edged sword. While they serve as a significant source of energy, their extraction and combustion release vast amounts of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. Imagine the ancient forests and swamps that once thrived millions of years ago, their organic matter buried and transformed over time into coal, oil, and natural gas. The energy we derive from these fossil fuels is a fleeting gift from the past, one that carries both benefits and consequences. Renowned scientist Richard Feynman once remarked, "The imagination of nature is far greater than the imagination of man." This statement resonates profoundly when we consider the intricate processes that lead to the formation of fossil fuels. The carbon stored within them represents a fraction of the Earth's long-term carbon storage capacity, yet their release into the atmosphere disrupts the delicate balance that has been maintained for eons. As we contemplate the implications of long-term carbon release, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The impacts on climate are significant and far-reaching. The burning of fossil fuels, alongside deforestation and land use changes, contributes to an accelerated increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. This influx of carbon disrupts the natural equilibrium, leading to climate change, which poses a threat to ecosystems and human societies alike. Consider the consequences of this imbalance. As the atmosphere warms, the polar ice caps melt and sea levels rise, threatening coastal communities around the world. Extreme weather events become more frequent and severe, altering the very fabric of our environments. The interconnectedness of life on Earth means that no species exists in isolation. The repercussions of climate change reverberate through food webs, impacting biodiversity and ecosystem stability. Long-term carbon release does not only affect temperature and weather patterns, it also alters the chemistry of the oceans. Increased levels of carbon dioxide lead to ocean acidification, a phenomenon that threatens marine life, particularly organisms that rely on calcium carbonate to build their shells, such as corals and shellfish. Imagine vibrant coral reefs, bustling with life, slowly fading into ghostly remnants as their delicate structures dissolve in increasingly acidic waters. The loss of these ecosystems not only impacts marine species, but also the communities that depend on them for food and livelihood. As we reflect on these profound changes, questions arise about our role in the carbon cycle. How can we mitigate the impacts of long-term carbon release? The answers lie within our collective actions and innovations. Transitioning to renewable energy sources, enhancing carbon sequestration through reforestation, and adopting sustainable agricultural practices are just a few strategies that can help restore balance to the carbon cycle. In the words of the environmentalist Wangari Maathai, "It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. My little thing is planting trees." This sentiment emphasizes the power of individual actions in the face of global challenges. Each tree planted, each effort to reduce carbon emissions, contributes to a larger movement toward sustainability and resilience. The journey of carbon, from its long-term storage in geological formations to its release into the atmosphere, embodies the delicate balance of our planet's systems. As we delve into the complexities of these processes, we become more aware of our interconnectedness with the Earth. The choices we make today will echo through time, shaping the world for future generations. In this ongoing narrative, the beauty of nature and the wisdom of science remind us that we are stewards of the planet. By understanding the mechanisms of long-term carbon storage and release, we gain insight into the intricate web of life that sustains us. Each layer of sediment, each geological transformation, tells a story of resilience and adaptation. As we move forward, let us carry this knowledge with us, embracing our role in nurturing a balanced and thriving Earth. The journey of carbon through the Earth systems is far from linear. It is a complex interplay of processes that dictate the balance of life. One of the most fascinating aspects of long-term carbon storage is the role of sedimentation. Imagine the layers of sediment accumulating over eons, each layer a silent witness to the passage of time. This gradual process not only traps carbon, but also preserves the history of life on Earth, creating a geological record that scientists can study to understand past climates and ecosystems. Within this sedimentary blanket lies a treasure trove of information. Each layer tells a story of climatic conditions, biological activity, and geological events. Scientists have developed methods to analyze these layers, revealing how carbon concentrations have fluctuated over millions of years. As we peel back the layers of Earth's history, we uncover the profound influence of natural events, such as volcanic eruptions or meteorite impacts, which can alter the carbon cycle dramatically. What can these ancient records teach us about our current trajectory? They offer a glimpse into the resilience of life in the face of changing environments, highlighting the adaptability of ecosystems under stress. Geological processes play an equally critical role in sequestering carbon. The formation of coal, oil, and natural gas is a testament to the Earth's ability to store carbon in a stable form. These fossil fuels originated from ancient forests and marine environments, where organic material was buried and subjected to heat and pressure over millions of years. The transformation of this organic matter into hydrocarbons is a complex chemical journey, one that holds the energy of the sun captured in the past, waiting to be released. However, the very nature of fossil fuels poses challenges to our environment. When burned, they release carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, contributing to global warming. This release is not just an immediate concern, but also affects long-term carbon storage. The more fossil fuels we extract and combust, the more we upset the delicate balance that nature has maintained for millennia. The words of geochemist Wallace Broecker resonate deeply in this context. The climate system is an angry beast, and we are poking it with sticks. As we extract carbon from the Earth, we are not merely using a resource. We are influencing a complex system that responds in ways we are still striving to understand. The implications of long-term carbon release extend far beyond temperature increases. Imagine the intricate web of life in ecosystems that are slowly adapting to changes that can happen over mere decades. Species that once thrived in stable environments are now facing unprecedented challenges. The migration patterns of birds, the blooming of flowers, and the spawning of fish are all closely tied to the seasonal cues that have governed life for centuries. How will these patterns shift in response to the rapid changes in climate? The answers remain uncertain, yet the stakes are incredibly high. As we picture the melting glaciers and rising sea levels, we must also consider the nuances of these changes. The polar regions, often viewed as remote and untouched, are becoming bellwethers of climate change. The loss of ice not only contributes to rising sea levels, but also alters ocean currents and weather patterns globally. The Arctic Ocean, once a reflective surface of ice, is now absorbing heat, further accelerating warming. This feedback loop exemplifies the interconnectedness of Earth systems, where changes in one area ripple across the globe. Ocean acidification, driven by increased carbon dioxide levels, is another severe consequence of long-term carbon release. Imagine the diversity of marine life thriving in coral reefs, a vibrant ecosystem that supports thousands of species. As carbon dioxide dissolves in seawater, it forms carbonic acid, lowering the pH and threatening the very foundation of these ecosystems. The loss of corals disrupts not only marine biodiversity, but also the livelihoods of millions who depend on fishing and tourism. The ripple effects of long-term carbon release extend to terrestrial ecosystems as well. Forests, often regarded as carbon sinks, are increasingly vulnerable to disturbances. Deforestation, driven by agricultural expansion and urbanization, exacerbates carbon release and diminishes the planet's capacity to sequester carbon. As we envision the lush canopies of tropical rainforests, We must recognize them as vital players in the carbon cycle, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen, thus maintaining balance. In contemplating these challenges, we are faced with profound questions about our role in this cycle. What steps can we take to mitigate the impacts of our actions on the carbon cycle? The shift towards sustainable practices is not merely an option, it is imperative for the future of our planet. Innovations in renewable energy, such as solar and wind power, offer pathways to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. Imagine a world powered by clean energy, where the air is clear and the climate stabilized. Moreover, the concept of carbon capture and storage presents an intriguing avenue for reducing emissions. By capturing carbon dioxide before it enters the atmosphere and storing it underground, we can potentially mitigate some of the impacts of fossil fuel combustion. This technology, though still developing, holds promise for bridging the gap between our current energy needs and a sustainable future. As we reflect on these possibilities, we are reminded of the words of the environmentalist David Suzuki. We must shift our energy policies away from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources. This shift requires collective action, innovation, and a commitment to stewardship of the planet. Each small change contributes to a larger movement toward sustainability, illustrating the power of individual and community efforts. The narrative of long-term carbon storage and release is one of complexity, interconnection, and urgency. As we continue to explore the intricacies of this cycle, we become more aware of the responsibility we share in shaping a thriving future. The choices we make today resonate through the annals of time, influencing not just our own lives, but the legacy we leave for generations to come. By embracing our role in the carbon cycle, we can foster a deeper connection with the Earth, nurturing its health and resilience. Chapter 4: Human Impact on the Carbon Cycle. The intricate relationship between human activities and the carbon cycle has evolved into a pressing concern, reshaping the very fabric of our environment. Anthropogenic carbon emissions have surged dramatically in recent decades, largely driven by industrialization and the growing energy demands of a global population. This influx of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere changes the balance established over millennia, creating a ripple effect throughout the entire system. Imagine standing in a bustling city, surrounded by the hum of vehicles and the glow of buildings, where the air is thick with the byproducts of combustion. Each vehicle, each factory, contributes to a collective carbon footprint that alters the natural rhythm of our planet. Deforestation stands as one of the most visible manifestations of human impact. Forests, often referred to as the lungs of our planet, play an essential role in carbon storage. They absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, transforming it into biomass and releasing oxygen in return. When we clear forests for agriculture, urban development, or logging, we not only halt this vital absorption, but also release stored carbon back into the atmosphere. The act of cutting down a single tree releases carbon that has been sequestered for decades, if not centuries, contributing to atmospheric changes that can disrupt weather patterns and biodiversity. Picture a vast expanse of trees, their leaves whispering in the wind, now replaced by barren land. The stark contrast is not just visual, it reverberates through ecosystems, affecting species that rely on these habitats for survival. The burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas, serves as another significant player in the carbon cycle, contributing to the rising levels of carbon dioxide that envelop our planet. Each time we ignite a fossil fuel, we unleash carbon that has been locked away for millions of years. This process, while providing energy that powers homes, industries, and transportation, is a double-edged sword. For instance, Coal, once the backbone of industrial progress, emits substantial amounts of carbon dioxide, along with other pollutants, when burned. The smoke that billows from a coal plant is not merely a sign of energy generation. It symbolizes an imbalance, an infusion of ancient carbon into a modern atmosphere. Oil and gas, while cleaner in comparison to coal, still pose significant challenges. The extraction, transportation, and combustion of these resources release carbon and methane, a potent greenhouse gas that is far more effective at trapping heat in the atmosphere. Imagine the vast networks of pipelines crisscrossing landscapes, carrying these resources to fuel our insatiable energy needs. Each leak, each flare-off, adds to the atmospheric burden, pushing us further from the equilibrium that has sustained life for eons. As we consider the emissions from various energy sources, we find a stark contrast in their environmental impact. Renewable energy sources, such as wind, solar, and hydroelectric power, offer a glimpse of hope. They produce energy without the direct emissions associated with fossil fuels, allowing for a reduction in our carbon footprint. Imagine the sight of wind turbines gracefully spinning in a field, harnessing the power of the breeze without damaging the delicate balance of the carbon cycle. Solar panels glisten under the sun, converting sunlight into electricity and offering a sustainable alternative to traditional energy sources. However, the transition to renewable energy is not without challenges. The production of solar panels and wind turbines still involves carbon emissions, albeit significantly less than those from fossil fuels. The question arises, can we truly transition to a carbon-neutral future? The answer lies in innovation and commitment to sustainable practices, from the way we generate energy to how we manage our natural resources. As we reflect on the human impact on the carbon cycle, we are reminded of the words of environmentalist Wangari Maathai, who once said, "It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. My little thing is planting trees." Each small action contributes to the larger narrative, emphasizing our individual and collective potential to restore balance to the carbon cycle. What if we could turn the tide? Imagine communities coming together to restore forests, to engage in reforestation efforts that not only absorb carbon but also nurture biodiversity. Such initiatives serve as a reminder that we possess the power to heal the planet, one tree at a time. In contemplating the relationship between human activity and the carbon cycle, we must also embrace the interconnectedness of all living things. The choices we make ripple outward, affecting not only our immediate environment, but also distant ecosystems. As we move forward, the balance of the carbon cycle remains in our hands, urging us to consider the long-term repercussions of our actions. With each passing year, the urgency to address our carbon emissions grows. The delicate balance we once took for granted teeters on the brink, a reminder that our planet's health is intricately linked to our choices. As stewards of this Earth, we hold the power to shape the future, ensuring that the carbon cycle continues to flourish, sustaining life in all its forms. The consequences of our energy choices extend beyond immediate emissions, intertwining with the broader narrative of the carbon cycle in profound ways. When examining the burning of fossil fuels, it is essential to consider not just the carbon dioxide emitted, but also the myriad of pollutants released into the atmosphere. Sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter contribute to air quality issues that pose significant health risks. Imagine a child playing in a park, their laughter mingling with the sounds of a city, unaware of the invisible dangers lurking in the air. These pollutants can lead to respiratory ailments, cardiovascular diseases, and other health complications, reminding us that the impact of fossil fuel combustion reaches far beyond climate change. The burning of coal, in particular, has a storied history marked by both innovation and consequence. Once the cornerstone of industrialization, coal mining and combustion powered economies and shaped cities. Yet, as the environmental consequences became increasingly clear, so did the need for alternatives. The legacy of coal is a testament to human ingenuity and resilience as we strive to find cleaner, more sustainable energy sources. This transition is not merely about reducing carbon emissions. It is about reimagining our relationship with energy itself. Consider the remarkable journey of Thomas Edison, who famously stated, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." His relentless pursuit of innovation led to the development of the electric light bulb, a breakthrough that revolutionized society. Yet, the energy that powered his inventions often came from coal, a reminder of the paradox of progress. As we reflect on this history, we must ask ourselves, how can we honor our past while forging a more sustainable future? The rise of renewable energy sources offers a hopeful answer to this question. Solar, wind, and hydroelectric power provide alternatives that are increasingly viable, each contributing to a reduction in carbon emissions. Imagine a sprawling solar farm, panels glistening under the sun, soaking in sunlight to generate electricity. Or consider a wind farm, turbines turning gracefully in the breeze, harnessing energy without the burden of emissions. These technologies exemplify the potential for human innovation to align with the natural world, creating a harmonious balance within the carbon cycle. However, the path toward a sustainable energy future is fraught with challenges. The production of solar panels and wind turbines still incurs emissions, albeit significantly less than those from traditional fossil fuels. As we navigate this transition, we must confront the complexities of energy production and consumption. Can we truly achieve a carbon-neutral future? The answer lies in our commitment to sustainable practices, from the materials we select to the methods we employ in energy generation. Imagine a world where communities come together to invest in local renewable energy projects, generating power from the environment around them. This shift not only reduces carbon emissions, but also fosters a sense of connection and responsibility toward the land. The words of environmental activist Bill McKibben resonate here. The planet is no longer something we can take for granted. With each action, we affect the delicate balance of the carbon cycle, urging us to consider the long-term implications of our choices. Deforestation emerges as another significant factor in the human impact on the carbon cycle. The consequences of tree loss extend beyond mere numbers. They ripple through entire ecosystems. When we clear land for agriculture or urban development, we disrupt not only carbon storage, but also the intricate web of life that depends on forests. Picture a thriving rainforest where the air is thick with moisture and life. Each tree stands as a testament to centuries of growth, a living repository of carbon. When these trees are felled, the stored carbon is released, and the ecosystem suffers a profound loss. The beauty of forests lies in their complexity. They provide habitat for countless species, contribute to soil health, and regulate water cycles. When we remove trees, we not only release carbon, but also compromise these vital functions. Think of the relationships between flora and fauna, where each species plays a role in maintaining the balance of its environment. The loss of one species can have cascading effects, altering the very fabric of the ecosystem. As we confront these realities, we must also acknowledge the stories of those who have dedicated their lives to preserving our forests. One such individual is Wangari Maathai, the founder of the Green Belt movement, who dedicated her life to environmental conservation and empowering communities through tree planting. Her words remind us that it's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. Each tree planted is a step toward restoration, a commitment to nurturing the planet. The question remains, how can we integrate this understanding into our daily lives? Imagine engaging in local reforestation efforts, planting native species that support local wildlife and enhance carbon sequestration. Each small action contributes to a larger narrative of restoration, emphasizing our individual and collective potential to heal the planet. As we reflect on the human impact on the carbon cycle, we are called to embrace a holistic view of our relationship with nature. The choices we make ripple outward, affecting not only our immediate surroundings, but also distant ecosystems. The urgency to address our carbon emissions and protect our forests grows with each passing year, as the delicate balance of the carbon cycle hangs in the balance. We stand at a crossroads where the decisions of today will shape the world for generations to come. The interconnectedness of all living things underscores the importance of our choices, urging us to consider the long-term repercussions of our actions. In this shared journey, we possess the power to cultivate a future where the carbon cycle flourishes, sustaining life in all its forms. What legacy will we leave for those who come after us? The answer lies within our hands, ready to be shaped by our commitment to balance and sustainability. Chapter 5: The Role of Wood in Carbon Cycling. Wood, in its many forms, plays a significant role in the intricate web of carbon cycling, particularly in its short-term dynamics. Imagine the flickering flames of a campfire, where wood burns, releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This moment of combustion is a vivid illustration of a rapid exchange of carbon, part of a larger cycle that influences our environment. When wood is burned, it transforms stored carbon back into carbon dioxide, reintroducing it into the atmosphere. This process occurs swiftly, often within minutes, and serves as a reminder of how quickly carbon can shift between states. Yet, the burning of wood is not merely a straightforward release of carbon. The sustainability of wood harvesting practices plays a critical role in determining the net impact on carbon dynamics. Picture a well-managed forest, where trees are selectively harvested and regrowth is encouraged. Sustainable practices ensure that the carbon released during burning is balanced by the carbon sequestered as new trees grow. As trees photosynthesize, they absorb carbon dioxide, effectively drawing down atmospheric carbon levels. This harmonious relationship illustrates how thoughtful management can mitigate the impacts of wood burning, transforming a potential source of carbon emissions into a cycle of renewal. In contrast, unsustainable logging practices can disrupt this balance. When forests are clear-cut without regard for regrowth, the carbon released during combustion far outweighs the carbon sequestered by new growth. This is particularly poignant when considering the vast expanses of forest that are lost every year, creating a scenario where the carbon storage potential of these ecosystems diminishes significantly. It raises the question, how can we ensure that our reliance on wood as an energy source does not come at the cost of our planet's health? The answer lies in adopting practices that prioritize both human needs and ecological balance. The carbon dynamics of forests extend beyond mere carbon release and sequestration. Forests function as carbon sinks, absorbing more carbon dioxide than they emit, especially when they are healthy and thriving. This process is enhanced when forests are allowed to grow older, as mature trees can store vast amounts of carbon in their biomass. The wood itself becomes a long-term reservoir of carbon, contributing to the stability of the carbon cycle. The renowned ecologist and author Aldo Leopold once stated, The last word in ignorance is the man who says that creativity knows no restraint. This resonates deeply in the context of forest management, where understanding the creative potential of nature can lead to sustainable practices. Consider the forests of the Amazon, often referred to as the lungs of the earth. These rainforests are not only a haven for biodiversity, but also a significant player in global carbon dynamics. Through photosynthesis, they sequester enormous amounts of carbon dioxide, helping to regulate the Earth's climate. Yet, they face threats from deforestation and climate change. As old trees are removed, the carbon stored in their biomass is released, and the forest's ability to sequester carbon diminishes. This cycle of loss and regrowth is a delicate balance, emphasizing the importance of preserving these rich ecosystems. To further illustrate the role of wood in carbon cycling, let us explore case studies where wood has been harnessed as a renewable energy source. In regions where sustainable forestry practices are implemented, wood can replace fossil fuels, creating a more circular carbon economy. Imagine a community that relies on sustainably harvested wood for heating and electricity. In this scenario, the carbon released during combustion is offset by the carbon sequestered through the growth of new trees. This practice not only provides energy, but also fosters a sense of stewardship for the land. In Sweden, for example, a strong commitment to sustainable forestry has transformed wood into a cornerstone of their energy strategy. The country has invested in technologies that utilize wood chips and pellets as biofuels, significantly reducing reliance on fossil fuels. This shift has contributed to lower carbon emissions and demonstrates the potential for wood to play a vital role in the transition towards renewable energy. The Swedish approach illustrates a successful model, harmonizing human energy needs with the natural capacity for carbon sequestration. Another compelling case is found in the Appalachian region of the United States, where local communities have begun to embrace sustainable wood harvesting practices. Here, the wood industry has shifted towards using low-impact logging techniques that preserve the forest's integrity while providing a source of renewable energy. These efforts not only support the local economy, but also contribute to a healthier ecosystem, showcasing the dual benefits of sustainable practices. As we contemplate these examples, we may ask ourselves, how do we balance our energy needs with the preservation of our forests? The answer lies in embracing a mindset that values sustainability. By investing in renewable wood energy and supporting responsible forestry, we can align our practices with the natural rhythms of the carbon cycle. The dynamic interplay between carbon release and sequestration is central to our understanding of forests and wood. When wood is burned, it releases carbon, but when sustainably managed, the forests can absorb even more carbon than is emitted. This cyclical relationship highlights the potential for wood to be a significant ally in mitigating climate change. Yet, it requires a collective commitment to stewardship, where every tree harvested is seen not just as a resource, but as a living component of our planet's carbon balance. As we reflect on the stories of wood and its role in carbon cycling, we are reminded of the profound connection between human activity and the natural world. Each decision we make regarding wood, from energy use to forest management, reverberates through the carbon cycle. Imagine a future where sustainable wood practices are the norm, where communities thrive in harmony with their forests, and where carbon balance is achieved through thoughtful stewardship. This vision is not merely a dream, but a possibility that beckons us to act with intention. In this interconnected narrative of carbon cycling, wood emerges not just as a material, but as a vital player in our environmental story. It challenges us to reconsider our relationship with nature, inviting us to engage in practices that promote both our well-being and the health of our planet. As we continue on this journey, let us remain open to the lessons that wood and forests have to teach us about resilience, renewal, and the delicate balance of life on Earth. As we consider the short-term dynamics of carbon cycling through wood, it's essential to recognize the implications of wood burning beyond immediate carbon release. The ecological consequences of this practice can ripple through the environment, affecting not only carbon levels, but also air quality and local ecosystems. When wood is combusted inefficiently, it can produce not only carbon dioxide, but also particulate matter and volatile organic compounds, which contribute to air pollution. This aspect of wood burning invites reflection on how we can utilize this resource responsibly, minimizing harm while reaping benefits. Sustainable wood harvesting practices present a pathway to mitigate these effects. By focusing on methods that promote forest health, we can reduce the carbon footprint associated with wood energy. Imagine a landscape where trees are selectively thinned rather than clear-cut, allowing sunlight to filter through and nurture the undergrowth. This approach not only preserves the existing carbon stores, but fosters a vibrant ecosystem where new growth can flourish. It is a gentle reminder that our interactions with nature can be symbiotic rather than exploitative. Moreover, the concept of carbon release versus carbon sequestration in forests can be illustrated through the lens of forest management. In well-managed forests, the balance between these two processes is maintained. Trees are periodically harvested in a manner that encourages regrowth, creating a continuous cycle of carbon capture. Picture a thriving forest where each tree cut down is matched by new saplings sprouting in its place, creating a living legacy of carbon storage. This dynamic highlights the potential of forestry to be a proactive participant in the fight against climate change. The stories of individuals and organizations that champion sustainable forestry practices are inspiring. One such example is the work of the Forest Stewardship Council, dedicated to promoting responsible forest management worldwide. Their certification program encourages consumers to support products sourced from forests that are managed with environmental, social, and economic considerations in mind. This collective effort underscores the importance of making informed choices, as each purchase can reflect a commitment to sustainability. In the realm of renewable energy, the case for wood becomes even more compelling. As we explore case studies of wood as a renewable energy source, we find that regions embracing sustainable practices see not only environmental benefits, but also economic growth. For instance, in Finland, a nation rich in forest resources, wood is a cornerstone of their energy strategy. By converting wood waste into biofuels, Finland transforms potential waste into a valuable energy source, demonstrating how innovative approaches can redefine our relationship with natural resources. Consider the role of technology in this transformation. Advanced techniques for converting wood into energy, such as gasification and pyrolysis, allow for the extraction of renewable fuels while minimizing emissions. These technologies not only harness the energy stored in wood, but also provide a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels, offering a glimpse into a future where our energy needs are met through sustainable practices. As we imagine the potential of wood as a renewable energy source, the question arises: how can we ensure that our practices remain sustainable in the long term? This inquiry leads us to contemplate the importance of education and community involvement in promoting responsible wood harvesting. By fostering a culture of awareness around sustainable practices, we can empower individuals and communities to take action. Imagine a community gathering, where local citizens come together to learn about the benefits of sustainable forestry and the impact of their choices. In this shared space, knowledge becomes a catalyst for change, inspiring collective stewardship of the land. In exploring the interplay between wood, carbon cycling, and energy production, it becomes evident that our decisions regarding forest management can have profound implications for the environment. The relationship between carbon release and sequestration is not merely an abstract concept, but a tangible reality that shapes the world around us. By choosing to engage with wood as a renewable resource, we have the opportunity to influence this relationship positively. The stories of resilience found within the forests remind us that nature has an innate ability to recover when given the chance. When we invest in sustainable practices, we are not just harvesting wood, we are fostering ecosystems that can thrive for generations. This perspective aligns with the wisdom of the environmental leader Wangari Maathai, who said, "It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. My little thing is planting trees." As we ponder the profound connection between wood and carbon cycling, let us embrace the responsibility that comes with using this resource. Each tree carries the potential to sequester carbon, each forest nurtures a complex web of life, and each decision we make influences the delicate balance of our environment. By fostering a deeper understanding of these dynamics, we can cultivate a sense of stewardship that extends beyond ourselves and into the future. In this chapter, we have traversed the landscape of wood's role in carbon cycling, examining the impacts of burning, the benefits of sustainable practices, and the potential of wood as a renewable energy source. Each aspect we explored contributes to a broader narrative of resilience, where the choices we make today can lead to a healthier planet tomorrow. As we continue to explore this interconnected journey, let us carry forward the lessons learned and the hope for a sustainable future, where wood and forests remain vital allies in the quest for balance within our carbon cycle. Chapter 6: Greenhouse Gases and Climate Change. The atmosphere is a delicate blanket surrounding our planet, composed of various gases that work together to sustain life. Among these gases, certain ones hold a particular significance due to their ability to trap heat. These are known as greenhouse gases, and they include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and water vapor. Each of these gases plays a distinct role in regulating the Earth's temperature, creating the conditions necessary for life to thrive. Imagine standing on a sunlit beach, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin. This warmth is a result of solar radiation reaching the Earth, where some of it is absorbed and some is reflected back into space. However, greenhouse gases act like a warm blanket, absorbing heat and preventing it from escaping. Picture a pot of water on a stove. As the heat rises, the lid traps some of it inside, increasing the temperature of the water. In a similar manner, greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere, maintaining a balance that is crucial for our climate. Carbon dioxide, the most prevalent greenhouse gas emitted by human activities, primarily comes from the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. When we drive our cars, heat our homes, and power our industries, we release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, enhancing the greenhouse effect. Methane, on the other hand, is released during the production and transport of coal, oil, and natural gas, as well as through livestock and other agricultural practices. This potent gas is significantly more effective at trapping heat than carbon dioxide, although it remains in the atmosphere for a shorter time. Nitrous oxide, another significant greenhouse gas, is primarily released from agricultural and industrial activities, as well as during combustion of fossil fuels and solid waste. The intricate interplay of these gases not only shapes our current climate, but also sets the stage for feedback loops, which can amplify their effects. Imagine a cycle that spins faster and faster, driven by the very forces that once kept it in balance. One such feedback loop involves the carbon cycle itself. As temperatures rise, polar ice caps and glaciers begin to melt, releasing trapped carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere. This, in turn, leads to further warming, which causes even more ice to melt. The more we warm the planet, the more greenhouse gases are released, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. Another feedback loop can be observed in our forests, which serve as vital carbon sinks. Healthy forests absorb carbon dioxide through photosynthesis, acting as a buffer against climate change. However, as climate change progresses, these ecosystems become stressed, leading to increased mortality rates among trees and making them less effective at sequestering carbon. Imagine a grand symphony where the musicians begin to falter, their harmony disrupted by external pressures. The impact on carbon storage is profound, as a stressed forest may release more carbon than it sequesters, further exacerbating the situation. As we delve into the consequences of climate change on ecosystems, the effects become increasingly apparent. Picture a vibrant coral reef, teeming with life, where fish dart among colorful corals. Rising ocean temperatures, a direct result of climate change, lead to coral bleaching, a phenomenon where corals expel the algae living in their tissues, losing their vibrant colors and vital source of energy. This not only affects the coral, but also the myriad of species that depend on it for shelter and food. The delicate balance of these underwater ecosystems is disrupted, leading to declines in biodiversity. On land, the impacts of climate change can be observed in shifting habitats. Imagine a once lush savanna, now parched and cracked under the relentless sun. As temperatures rise and precipitation patterns shift, many species are forced to adapt, migrate, or face extinction. The loss of biodiversity is not just a loss for individual species. It disrupts entire ecosystems and the services they provide, such as pollination, nutrient cycling, and water purification. The interconnectedness of these ecosystems highlights the importance of understanding the role of greenhouse gases in climate change. Take a moment to reflect on the intricate web of life that surrounds us. Each strand, from the tiniest microbe in the soil to the largest mammal in the forest, is impacted by the changes in our climate. As the renowned naturalist John Muir once said, "When we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe." This interconnectedness underscores the urgency of addressing the root causes of climate change. As we continue to explore the ramifications of greenhouse gases, it becomes clear that our actions today will shape the world of tomorrow. The emissions we produce not only affect our immediate environment, but also set in motion processes that can alter ecosystems for generations to come. The delicate equilibrium that sustains life on Earth is at stake, and it calls for our attention and action. The journey of understanding greenhouse gases is not just a scientific endeavor, it is a call to stewardship. It invites us to imagine a future where we harmonize our activities with the natural rhythms of the Earth. Picture a world where renewable energies replace fossil fuels, where forests are protected and restored, and where our communities thrive in balance with the environment. This vision is within our reach, but it requires collective effort and commitment to change. As we contemplate the profound impacts of climate change, let us also remember the resilience of nature. Ecosystems have a remarkable ability to adapt, provided they are given the chance. By reducing greenhouse gas emissions and implementing sustainable practices, we can foster environments that not only survive but thrive in the face of change. The path forward may be challenging, but it is also filled with hope and potential. In our quest to understand greenhouse gases and their implications, we find ourselves at a crossroads. The choices we make today resonate through time, influencing the health of our planet and the well-being of future generations. As we continue on this journey, let us remain mindful of the interconnectedness of all life and the role we play in shaping a sustainable future. The narrative of climate change is still being written, and we hold the pen in our hands. As we reflect on the profound impacts of climate change, it is essential to consider how greenhouse gases not only alter our environment, but also influence the intricate networks that sustain life. The consequences of rising temperatures extend far beyond mere fluctuations in weather patterns. They ripple through ecosystems, affecting biodiversity and the delicate balance of natural processes. Imagine the vast expanse of a wetland, a sanctuary for countless species. These areas are not only beautiful, but are also critical for carbon storage. Wetlands can sequester carbon in their saturated soils, effectively acting as natural buffers against climate change. However, as temperatures increase and precipitation patterns shift, wetlands face the dual threat of drying out and flooding. This instability can lead to the release of carbon previously stored in these ecosystems, adding to the very problem they once helped mitigate. The balance is fragile, a reminder of how interconnected our planet's systems truly are. The plight of polar ecosystems further illustrates the consequences of climate change. Envision the Arctic, where icebergs drift majestically in the frigid waters. These ice masses are not mere spectacles of beauty, they play a crucial role in regulating global climate patterns. As the ice melts due to warming temperatures, less sunlight is reflected back into space, leading to further warming, a classic example of a feedback loop. The loss of ice cover also threatens the species that depend on it, such as polar bears and seals, creating a cascading effect that impacts the entire ecosystem. As biologist Paul Nicklin eloquently stated, "We are all interconnected. We are all of this place. Each of us has a role in the natural world." Moving from the icy realms of the poles to the tropics, we find another critical ecosystem, the rainforest. These lush environments are often referred to as the lungs of the earth, for they absorb vast amounts of carbon dioxide while releasing oxygen. However, deforestation and climate change threaten their survival. Picture the vibrant colors and sounds of a rainforest teeming with life. Yet, as trees are felled and the climate becomes increasingly erratic, this rich biodiversity faces unprecedented challenges. Species that have evolved over millennia are now forced to adapt or perish, leading to profound losses in genetic diversity. The extinction of a single species can have far-reaching effects, disrupting food webs and ecological interactions that have existed for eons. In coastal regions, the impacts of climate change manifest in the form of rising sea levels, threatening both human settlements and natural habitats. Imagine a once thriving coastal ecosystem, where mangroves and salt marshes served as protective barriers against storms and erosion. As sea levels rise, these vital ecosystems are submerged, leading to a loss of habitat for countless marine species and a reduction in the natural defenses that protect coastal communities. The displacement of both human and animal populations adds to the urgency of addressing greenhouse gas emissions and mitigating climate change. As we consider these diverse ecosystems, it becomes clear that the consequences of climate change are not isolated events. They are interconnected phenomena that resonate throughout the biosphere. Each ecosystem, from the depths of the ocean to the heights of the mountains, is a part of a larger narrative, one that is increasingly influenced by human activity. With each decision we make, we can either contribute to the unraveling of this intricate web or work towards its preservation. What can we do to foster resilience in these vulnerable ecosystems? One approach lies in enhancing our conservation efforts. Imagine a world where protected areas expand, safeguarding critical habitats and the species that inhabit them. By preserving biodiversity, we not only protect the natural world, but also bolster the ecosystem services that sustain human life. Conservation biologist Edward O. Wilson once remarked, "The future of life on Earth is a race between education and catastrophe." Education empowers us to make informed choices, to understand the intricate relationships that bind us to the natural world. Restoration efforts also play a pivotal role in combating the impacts of climate change. Picture a barren landscape, once a vibrant forest, now stripped of its vitality. Through reforestation and habitat restoration, we can breathe life back into these areas, enhancing carbon sequestration and fostering biodiversity. The act of planting trees is a powerful symbol of hope, a tangible way to combat the effects of climate change while reconnecting with our environment. Moreover, embracing sustainable practices in agriculture, industry, and daily life can mitigate the effects of greenhouse gases. Imagine a thriving farm where regenerative practices are employed, enriching the soil and enhancing its ability to store carbon. Sustainable farming not only supports local communities, but also contributes to the resilience of ecosystems, ensuring that they can withstand the pressures of climate change. As we navigate the complexities of climate change and its consequences, it is essential to remember that we possess the capacity for change. Through collective action and a commitment to sustainability, we can forge a path towards a healthier planet. The journey may be daunting, but as environmentalist Wangari Maathai said, "It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. My little thing is planting trees." By planting the seeds of awareness and action, we can nurture a future where ecosystems flourish, greenhouse gas emissions are curtailed, and harmony is restored between humanity and nature. Each step we take can contribute to a brighter tomorrow, a legacy of stewardship for generations to come. The story of our planet is still unfolding, and with each choice, we write the next chapter in the narrative of climate resilience. Chapter 7: Mitigating Carbon Emissions Strategies. As the world grapples with the pressing challenge of climate change, innovative strategies emerge to mitigate carbon emissions, each one representing a significant step towards restoring balance in our environment. Among these strategies, carbon capture and storage technologies stand out, promising to trap carbon dioxide before it can seep into the atmosphere and contribute to global warming. Picture a facility designed not only to produce energy, but also to act as a sponge, absorbing carbon emissions. These technologies capture carbon dioxide from sources such as power plants and industrial processes, preventing it from reaching the atmosphere. Once captured, the carbon dioxide is compressed and transported, often through pipelines, to be stored underground in geological formations. Imagine deep beneath the Earth's crust, where ancient rock layers hold the potential to securely sequester carbon for thousands of years. This method, while still evolving, holds immense promise for reducing the overall concentration of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Yet carbon capture is just one piece of a larger puzzle. Reforestation and afforestation offer nature-based solutions that not only sequester carbon, but also enhance biodiversity and restore ecosystems. Think of a once barren landscape, now lush with trees, each one a living testament to rejuvenation. Through reforestation, we can restore forests that have been lost to logging or agricultural expansion. Each tree planted is a powerful ally in the fight against climate change, absorbing carbon dioxide as it grows. Afforestation, on the other hand, involves planting trees in areas where there were none before, creating new forests and expanding carbon storage capacity. As renowned environmentalist Wangari Maathai once said, "It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. My little thing is planting trees." Transitioning to renewable energy sources is another critical strategy in reducing carbon emissions. Visualize a landscape dotted with wind turbines, their blades gracefully harnessing the power of the wind. Solar panels glisten under the sun, capturing sunlight to generate electricity. This transition is not merely about replacing fossil fuels, it represents a paradigm shift in how we produce energy. Renewable sources such as wind, solar, and hydroelectric power emit little to no greenhouse gases during operation, providing a cleaner alternative to traditional energy systems. As we embrace these technologies, the potential for energy independence and sustainability becomes increasingly tangible. However, the transition to renewables must be supported by robust policy initiatives aimed at reducing carbon footprints on a broader scale. Imagine policymakers coming together, crafting regulations that promote clean energy and discourage carbon emissions. Such initiatives may include carbon pricing, where businesses are charged for their emissions, incentivizing them to adopt cleaner practices. Additionally, governments can support research and development in green technologies, paving the way for innovation that drives down costs and enhances efficiency. As we consider these strategies, one cannot help but reflect on the interconnectedness of our actions. The choices we make today, whether it be planting a tree, supporting renewable energy, or advocating for progressive policies, shape the world of tomorrow. What legacy do we wish to leave for future generations? Each strategy we employ in mitigating carbon emissions weaves a thread in the fabric of a sustainable future, inviting us to participate in the nurturing of our planet. The journey toward a healthier Earth is a collaborative effort, one that requires the dedication of individuals, communities, and nations alike. With each step we take toward these strategies, we become active participants in a larger narrative, one where the balance of carbon in our environment is restored and life can flourish once more. As we explore the landscape of carbon mitigation strategies, the importance of transitioning to renewable energy sources cannot be understated. This transition is driven by the need to replace fossil fuels, which are the primary contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. Imagine a world where energy is harvested from nature's most abundant resources: sunlight, wind, and water, each harnessing the elements to power our homes and industries without the heavy toll on our environment. Consider the vast fields of solar panels, gleaming under the sun's rays, converting sunlight into electricity with remarkable efficiency. Solar energy has evolved tremendously, with advancements in technology allowing for significant increases in energy capture and storage. Countries around the globe are investing heavily in solar power, recognizing its potential not just for energy independence, but also for job creation within the green economy. The energy produced by solar farms reduces the reliance on coal and natural gas, which are notorious for their carbon emissions. Wind energy presents another fascinating avenue. Picture wind farms, their turbines spinning gracefully against the horizon, producing clean energy that powers millions of homes. Wind is a renewable resource that is both abundant and sustainable, with the capacity to generate electricity without depleting natural resources or emitting harmful pollutants. Notably, the United States has seen exponential growth in wind energy production over the past few decades, becoming a leader in this sector. The beauty of wind energy lies not only in its environmental benefits, but also in its ability to invigorate local economies, creating jobs and fostering technological innovation. Hydropower, harnessing the energy of flowing water, is another critical component of the renewable energy mix. Imagine rivers and streams channeled through turbines, converting kinetic energy into electricity. Hydropower has been a long-standing source of energy, providing a steady and reliable supply. However, it is essential to approach hydropower development thoughtfully, considering the ecological impacts on aquatic ecosystems and surrounding landscapes. Sustainable practices ensure that while we tap into this powerful resource, we also protect the biodiversity that thrives in river systems. In addition to these renewable sources, the integration of energy storage technologies plays a vital role in enhancing the reliability of renewable energy systems. Battery technologies, which store energy for use during peak demand or when generation is low, are rapidly advancing. Visualize a world where energy storage seamlessly balances the grid, allowing us to rely on clean energy even when the sun sets or the wind calms. This innovation not only strengthens the resilience of energy systems, but also encourages further investment in renewables. Yet, the shift to renewable energy is not merely a technological challenge. It is also deeply intertwined with policy initiatives aimed at reducing carbon footprints. Governments play a crucial role in fostering an environment conducive to renewable energy development. Imagine policymakers crafting regulations that incentivize clean energy investments while disincentivizing carbon-intensive practices. Such measures could include tax credits for renewable energy projects, subsidies for energy efficiency improvements, and stringent emissions standards for industries. Carbon pricing, in particular, serves as a powerful tool in this shift. By placing a monetary value on carbon emissions, businesses are encouraged to adopt cleaner practices and invest in sustainable technologies. This economic mechanism not only drives innovation, but also aligns financial incentives with environmental goals. The intersection of policy and technology creates a fertile ground for solutions that can thrive. Consider the words of former President Barack Obama: "We are the first generation to feel the impact of climate change and the last generation that can do something about it." This call to action underscores the urgency with which we must embrace renewable energy and supportive policies. As we reflect on these strategies, it becomes evident that climate change is not just a distant threat. It is a present reality that demands our immediate attention. The interconnectedness of our choices and the pathways we take shape the future of our planet. What would our world look like if every community committed to renewable energy and sustainable practices? Each small action, whether it be installing solar panels on rooftops or advocating for progressive climate policies, contributes to a collective momentum towards a more sustainable future. The journey toward mitigating carbon emissions is multifaceted, encompassing technology, policy, and community engagement. Each strategy interlocks with the others, forming a comprehensive approach that addresses the complexities of climate change. By embracing these solutions, we nurture not only our environment, but also our responsibility to future generations, ensuring they inherit a world that thrives in harmony with nature. In the realm of reforestation and afforestation, these actions serve as a poignant reminder of our ability to mend the wounds inflicted upon our planet. Planting trees is more than just an act of environmental stewardship. It is a powerful statement about our commitment to healing the earth. The simple act of nurturing a seedling into a towering tree embodies hope, resilience, and the potential for regeneration. As we move forward in our exploration of these strategies, let us remind ourselves that the path to mitigating carbon emissions is paved with determination, innovation, and a shared vision for a sustainable future. Each step we take, guided by science and fueled by passion, brings us closer to restoring the delicate balance of our planet and ensuring a thriving ecosystem for generations to come. The movement towards renewable energy sources not only brings the promise of cleaner air, but also invites us to rethink our relationship with energy itself. Imagine communities empowered by local renewable projects, fostering a sense of stewardship over their energy production. These initiatives create not just energy, but also jobs and economic resilience. The decentralized nature of renewables, such as solar rooftops or community wind farms, allows for a more localized approach, potentially reducing the strain on centralized energy grids. Transitioning to renewable energy also necessitates a cultural shift in how we perceive and utilize energy. Picture households using smart technologies to monitor their energy consumption, making conscious decisions that align with sustainable practices. This awakening can lead to significant reductions in energy waste as individuals and businesses embrace energy efficiency measures. What if every light bulb in our homes were to be replaced with energy-efficient alternatives? The cumulative effect of such changes could drastically lower our carbon footprints. As we consider the impact of policy initiatives, it becomes clear that governments play a crucial role in shaping our energy landscape. Imagine policymakers advocating for ambitious renewable energy targets, setting the stage for a future where clean energy is not just an option, but the standard. The introduction of feed-in tariffs has incentivized many to adopt solar energy, allowing them to sell excess power back to the grid. Such measures not only bolster individual economic interests, but also contribute to national energy independence. The role of education in this transition cannot be understated. Visualize classrooms filled with eager minds learning about the principles of sustainability and the technologies that can drive change. By integrating environmental education into curricula, we equip future generations with the knowledge and skills needed to innovate and lead in the fight against climate change. As the climate scientist Jane Goodall wisely remarked, "What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." This sentiment echoes through the halls of educational institutions, inspiring students to consider their impact on the planet. In the context of carbon capture and storage technologies, emerging innovations continue to enhance our ability to mitigate emissions. Scientists and engineers are developing cutting-edge materials that improve the efficiency of carbon capture processes, making it more economically viable. Consider the potential of direct air capture systems that can filter carbon dioxide from the atmosphere itself, akin to creating artificial trees. These technological advancements offer a beacon of hope, presenting us with tools that can complement nature-based solutions like reforestation. Yet, as we embrace these technologies, we must also consider their broader environmental impacts. Every solution comes with its own set of challenges. For instance, the extraction of materials needed for renewable technologies can lead to habitat disruption if not managed responsibly. Therefore, implementing sustainable practices across all sectors is essential to ensure that our journey towards a low-carbon future does not inadvertently harm other vital ecosystems. Imagine a world where carbon emissions are not only reduced but actively reversed, where innovative technologies work in tandem with nature to restore balance. This vision is not merely aspirational. It is achievable through the concerted efforts of scientists, policymakers, and communities alike. The integration of diverse strategies, carbon capture, renewable energy, and sustainable practices creates a multifaceted approach that addresses the many dimensions of climate change. As we reflect on these strategies, we must recognize that the path to mitigating carbon emissions is not a solitary endeavor. It is a collective journey that requires collaboration at every level. Communities, businesses, and governments must unite in their commitment to sustainability, fostering a culture that values the health of our planet. What can each of us contribute to this shared mission? Even the smallest actions, when multiplied across millions of individuals, can lead to profound change. In the realm of policy initiatives, the importance of international cooperation cannot be overstated. Climate change knows no borders, and its effects ripple across continents, impacting vulnerable populations the hardest. Imagine nations coming together to create frameworks that support equitable transitions to renewable energy, ensuring that no one is left behind in this shift. Such collaborations can foster technological transfer, allowing developing nations to leapfrog to cleaner energy systems without undergoing the same destructive paths of industrialization that have plagued wealthier countries. The challenges we face are daunting, yet the solutions are within our grasp. By embracing the strategies of reforestation, renewable energy, and robust policy initiatives, we can forge a path toward a sustainable future. Each step taken in mitigation is not merely a response to an environmental crisis. It is an opportunity to redefine our relationship with the Earth and with one another. The choices we make today echo through time, shaping the legacy we leave for coming generations. How beautiful it is to envision a world where harmony reigns, where ecosystems thrive, and where humanity lives in balance with nature. Chapter 8: The Interconnectedness of Earth Systems. The intricate web of life on Earth hinges upon the delicate balance of carbon cycling, a process that profoundly affects biodiversity. When you think about the vast array of species that inhabit our planet, it becomes clear that their existence is intricately linked to carbon. The presence of carbon in various forms, organic and inorganic, supports the myriad of life forms that thrive in diverse ecosystems. Consider the coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, where countless species find their home. These underwater ecosystems rely on carbon compounds for building their structures and sustaining life. The health of these reefs is a direct reflection of the carbon cycle's balance, as excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere can lead to ocean acidification, threatening the very foundation of marine biodiversity. Imagine standing on a sun-kissed beach, gazing into the horizon, where the ocean meets the sky. The waves gently lap against the shore, but beneath the surface lies a complex interaction between carbon and water cycles. Water plays a pivotal role in carbon cycling, as it facilitates the transport of carbon in its various forms. Through processes like evaporation and precipitation, water serves as a vehicle for carbon to move between the atmosphere, land, and oceans. As rain falls, it carries dissolved carbon compounds into the soil and waterways, where they are utilized by organisms, further enriching the cycle. This seamless connection between water and carbon reminds us how closely intertwined these elements are, forming a continuous loop that sustains life. Reflecting on soil health reveals another layer of this interconnectedness. Healthy soils are not merely the foundation for plant growth, they are also crucial reservoirs for carbon storage. When you walk through a thriving meadow or a dense forest, the rich, dark soil beneath your feet is a testament to the accumulation of organic matter. Soil organic carbon is formed through the decomposition of plant and animal material, a process that not only enriches the soil, but also sequesters carbon for extended periods. The health of the soil directly correlates with its ability to store carbon, thus impacting the broader carbon cycle. Imagine a farmer nurturing their land, employing practices that enhance soil health through crop rotation and cover cropping. These methods not only yield nutritious food, but also bolster the soil's capacity to sequester carbon, creating a symbiotic relationship between agriculture and the environment. Yet the specter of climate change looms large, casting a shadow over marine carbon systems. As the planet warms, oceans absorb much of the excess carbon dioxide emitted into the atmosphere, leading to significant changes in marine chemistry. Picture the ocean as a vast sponge, soaking up carbon and transforming it into carbonic acid. This chemical shift poses a dire threat to marine life, disrupting the delicate balance that sustains various ecosystems. Coral bleaching, a phenomenon fueled by rising ocean temperatures and acidification, serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of these underwater worlds. As coral polyps expel the symbiotic algae that provide them with nutrients, entire ecosystems falter, leading to a decline in species diversity and abundance. The impacts of climate change extend beyond mere temperature rises. They reverberate through the entire carbon cycle. Changes in ocean temperature can alter currents, affecting the distribution of nutrients vital for marine organisms. Imagine a food web, intricately woven, where each participant relies on the others for survival. When one strand weakens due to climate change, the entire web is threatened. Fisheries that once thrived may collapse, leaving communities dependent on them in dire straits. This interconnectedness highlights the urgency of understanding how climate change affects not only carbon cycling, but the very systems that sustain life on Earth. As we ponder these connections, consider the words of the renowned biologist E.O. Wilson, who eloquently stated, "The real problem of humanity is the following. We have Paleolithic emotions, medieval institutions, and godlike technology." This quote encapsulates the challenge we face in addressing the interconnectedness of Earth systems. Our understanding of these relationships is crucial as we confront the pressing issues of climate change and biodiversity loss. The interplay of carbon cycling, water cycles, soil health, and the impacts of climate change on marine systems creates a rich narrative of interconnectedness. Each element influences the others, forming a delicate balance that sustains life. As you visualize these systems working in harmony, it becomes evident that our actions ripple through these connections, emphasizing the importance of nurturing and protecting the delicate fabric of life on Earth. As we explore the intricacies of carbon cycling, it becomes increasingly clear how profoundly it influences not just biodiversity, but also the very fabric of our planet's ecosystems. Carbon is not merely a building block of life. It is a catalyst for the myriad interactions that define the health of our world. For instance, the delicate balance of carbon influences the habitats where species reside, providing the necessary conditions for life to flourish. Imagine the vibrant ecosystems of a tropical rainforest, where the abundance of carbon-rich organic matter creates a lush environment supporting countless species, from the towering trees that scrape the sky to the myriad of insects that scuttle along the forest floor. Now, consider how this carbon-rich environment is sustained through the cycling of nutrients, which are intertwined with the water cycle. The water cycle acts as a bridge, facilitating the movement of carbon compounds across landscapes. When rain falls, it not only nourishes plants, but also transports carbon from the atmosphere into the soil, where it becomes part of the intricate web of life. This dynamic interplay raises an important question. How does the health of our water systems directly impact carbon cycling? Healthy water systems are crucial for maintaining the balance of carbon in both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. Wetlands, for instance, serve as vital carbon sinks, absorbing excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere while providing habitat for a diverse array of species. These ecosystems act like sponges, capturing carbon during periods of inundation and slowly releasing it during drier times. Imagine a serene wetland, teeming with life, where the rhythmic sound of water lapping at the shore harmonizes with the calls of birds flitting between the reeds. This vibrant scene encapsulates how carbon cycling and water systems are inextricably linked, each enhancing the other's capacity to support life. The significance of soil health cannot be overstated in this context. Healthy soils rich in organic matter are paramount for effective carbon storage. The process begins with the decomposition of plant and animal material, a natural recycling process that enriches the soil and contributes to carbon sequestration. Envision a rich, dark loam soil, where microorganisms and fungi work tirelessly to break down organic matter, converting it into stable forms of carbon that can remain in the ground for decades or even centuries. This organic carbon not only enhances soil fertility, but also improves its structure and water retention capabilities, creating a thriving environment for plant growth. Soil health is directly affected by agricultural practices. When farmers embrace methods that prioritize soil health, such as cover cropping and reduced tillage, they enhance the soil's ability to sequester carbon. Picture a farmer in a flourishing field, implementing crop rotation techniques that introduce diversity into the ecosystem. This diversity not only supports a variety of soil organisms, but also contributes to resilience against pests and diseases, illustrating how practices that nurture the soil can lead to a healthier carbon cycle. However, the effects of climate change can disrupt these delicate systems, particularly within marine environments. The ocean, often described as the planet's largest carbon sink, absorbs a significant portion of atmospheric carbon dioxide. As we reflect on this, it is essential to understand how rising temperatures and increasing acidity are altering marine carbon dynamics. Imagine the vast expanse of the ocean, where phytoplankton, the microscopic producers of our seas, thrive in a delicate balance. These tiny organisms play a critical role in sequestering carbon as they photosynthesize, converting carbon dioxide into organic matter that forms the base of the marine food web. Yet, as carbon dioxide levels rise, the ocean becomes more acidic, leading to detrimental effects on marine life. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, are particularly vulnerable. The process of calcification, through which corals build their calcium carbonate structures, becomes increasingly difficult in acidic waters. Visualize the vibrant colors of a healthy coral reef, bustling with life, and contrast this with the stark whiteness of bleached coral, a haunting reminder of the fragility of these ecosystems. The implications of climate change extend beyond the immediate effects on coral reefs. They ripple throughout entire marine ecosystems. Altered ocean temperatures can shift the distribution of fish species, disrupting fisheries that communities depend on for sustenance and economic stability. This raises a profound question. How do we reconcile the need for economic development with the imperative to protect our marine carbon systems? The interconnectedness of Earth systems calls for innovative approaches to conservation and sustainable practices. It is necessary to foster a deeper awareness of the intricate relationships between carbon cycling, biodiversity, and climate change. As we reflect on these connections, we can draw inspiration from environmental pioneers who have dedicated their lives to understanding and safeguarding these delicate systems. Take, for example, the work of oceanographer Sylvia Earle, who has long championed the importance of marine ecosystems. She famously stated, The future of the ocean is the future of us all. Her words remind us that the health of our oceans is intrinsically tied to our own survival. By prioritizing the protection of marine environments, we not only safeguard biodiversity, but also uphold the fundamental processes that sustain life on Earth. As we contemplate these themes, let us envision a future where our actions contribute positively to the interconnected web of life. By fostering healthy ecosystems, whether terrestrial or marine, we can create a foundation for resilience in the face of climate change, ensuring that both carbon cycling and biodiversity thrive. Each step we take can echo through these systems, reinforcing the idea that nurturing our planet is not just a responsibility, but an opportunity for a harmonious existence. The relationship between carbon cycling and the health of marine ecosystems is further emphasized when we consider the role of phytoplankton. These microscopic organisms are not just the foundation of the marine food web, they are also significant contributors to the global carbon cycle. Through photosynthesis, phytoplankton absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, acting as critical carbon sinks. Imagine a vast expanse of ocean, where sunlight filters through the water, nurturing these tiny powerhouses. Their presence is not just a footnote in the carbon cycle, they are vital players, converting sunlight into energy and drawing atmospheric carbon into the depths of the ocean. Yet the effects of climate change threaten these pivotal organisms. Warmer ocean temperatures can lead to shifts in phytoplankton distribution, affecting their productivity and the entire marine food web. Picture a once thriving bloom of phytoplankton, now diminished due to rising temperatures. This decline can have cascading effects on marine biodiversity, as species that rely on phytoplankton for sustenance may struggle to survive. The interplay of temperature and nutrient availability is delicate. An imbalance could disrupt the very foundation of life within ocean ecosystems. Further complicating this scenario is the interaction between carbon cycling and water cycles. As climate change alters precipitation patterns, areas that were once rich in nutrients may find themselves depleted. Imagine nutrient-rich river waters that once flowed abundantly, now diminished by droughts or altered by intense rainfall events. This variability affects not only terrestrial ecosystems, but also the health of coastal regions, where freshwater meets the sea. The transition zones of estuaries are particularly vulnerable, as they rely on a delicate balance of fresh and salt water to sustain their unique biodiversity. Soil health emerges as another crucial factor in this interconnected web. Healthy soils are not only essential for carbon storage, but also play a critical role in regulating water cycles. When soil is rich in organic matter, it improves its structure, enhancing its ability to retain water. Picture a flourishing field where the soil's capacity to hold moisture supports lush vegetation, creating a microclimate that nurtures local wildlife. This reciprocal relationship between soil health and water retention is fundamental, as it ensures that ecosystems remain resilient in the face of climate variability. Imagine the consequences of soil degradation, which can lead to diminished carbon storage capacity and increased runoff during rain events. This runoff can carry away essential nutrients, further compromising the health of both terrestrial and aquatic systems. The loss of soil health is not merely an agricultural concern. It reverberates through the entire carbon cycle, impacting biodiversity and the resilience of ecosystems. As we consider the intricate threads of these systems, it becomes clear that the impacts of climate change on marine carbon systems are profound. The ocean, while resilient, is not impervious to the shifts occurring above its surface. Elevated carbon dioxide levels lead to ocean acidification, which affects calcifying organisms like shellfish and corals. Imagine the once vibrant corals, their colors fading as they struggle to build their calcium carbonate structures in increasingly acidic waters. This phenomenon not only threatens the corals themselves, but also the myriad of species that rely on them for habitat and sustenance. The interconnectedness of these systems reminds us that the health of our planet is a collective endeavor. Each action we take influences the delicate balance of carbon cycling, water cycles, soil health, and marine systems. It is a complex dance where every step matters, and the urgency to address these interconnected challenges has never been more pressing. As we explore solutions, let us draw inspiration from those who have dedicated their lives to understanding and preserving these systems. Environmental advocates and scientists continue to pioneer efforts to mitigate the effects of climate change, reminding us that hope can be found in innovative practices and restoration efforts. Their commitment to fostering healthy ecosystems is a beacon, guiding us toward a future where the interconnectedness of Earth systems is honored and respected. In this journey, we must ask ourselves how we can contribute to the resilience of our planet. What practices can we adopt to support soil health, enhance water retention, and protect marine systems? By embracing sustainable practices in agriculture, advocating for policies that prioritize ecosystem health, and fostering a deeper understanding of our interconnectedness, we can play a vital role in nurturing the delicate fabric of life on Earth. Chapter 9: Future Trends in the Carbon Cycle. As we look ahead, predictions for carbon levels and climate outcomes create a complex picture, woven from the threads of science and human behavior. Experts suggest that without significant intervention, atmospheric carbon dioxide levels could reach unprecedented heights, propelling global temperatures to levels that could reshape ecosystems and human societies alike. Imagine a world where familiar landscapes transform under the weight of climate change, where once familiar seasons shift unpredictably and habitats are altered beyond recognition. These shifts are not just forecasts, they are the echoes of our current trajectory, influenced by choices made today. Consider the stark warning from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which highlights that limiting global warming to a specific threshold will require having our carbon emissions within a defined timeframe. The urgency is palpable, and the implications of failing to do so extend into every corner of our lives. It raises the question: how can we collectively alter our path to secure a stable climate for future generations? Emerging technologies in carbon management offer a glimmer of hope amid these daunting statistics. Innovations such as direct air capture are gaining traction, allowing us to extract carbon dioxide directly from the atmosphere. Picture a machine, operating quietly yet effectively, pulling in air and separating the carbon molecules from it, a fascinating interplay of chemistry and engineering aimed at reversing the damage done. As we harness these technologies, we must also consider their scalability and accessibility to create an equitable solution. Moreover, advances in bioenergy with carbon capture and storage present a dual benefit: generating energy while simultaneously sequestering carbon dioxide. Envision a power plant where the byproducts of energy production are not merely expelled into the atmosphere, but instead captured and stored deep underground, reducing our overall carbon footprint. These technologies, while promising, require support and investment, and they must be integrated with existing energy systems to realize their full potential. International agreements play a critical role in steering the world towards sustainable carbon management. The Paris Accord stands as a beacon of collective ambition, uniting nations in the effort to combat climate change. This agreement encourages countries to set their own targets for reducing carbon emissions, fostering a sense of accountability and cooperation. Imagine the world as a vast community, where shared goals pave the way for innovative solutions, transcending borders and fostering collaboration. Yet, the success of such agreements relies heavily on the commitment of nations to adhere to their pledges and to take bold action. From renewable energy investments to sustainable agricultural practices, the pathway outlined by global agreements challenges us to rethink our approach to carbon management. The goal is clear. Limiting temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius is not just an aspiration, but a necessity for the longevity of our planet. Community involvement is equally essential in this quest for carbon reduction. Grassroots movements have emerged as powerful forces, mobilizing individuals and organizations to advocate for sustainable practices. Imagine a local neighborhood coming together to plant trees, each sapling a symbol of hope and resilience against climate change. These grassroots initiatives not only contribute to carbon sequestration, but also strengthen community bonds, fostering a culture of environmental stewardship. Educational programs and local actions empower individuals to make informed choices, whether it's reducing energy consumption, supporting local farms, or advocating for policy changes. The ripple effect of such involvement can be significant. When communities unite, their collective voice can influence local and even national policies. Consider the story of a community that transformed an abandoned lot into a thriving urban garden. This initiative not only improved local air quality, but also provided fresh produce, reduced food miles, and engaged residents in hands-on learning about sustainable practices. This embodies the essence of community-driven carbon reduction efforts, small, localized actions that contribute to a larger global movement. The interconnectedness of these elements, predictions for carbon levels, technological advancements, international cooperation, and community engagement, paints a vivid picture of potential futures. Each aspect is a thread in the fabric of our carbon management strategy, illustrating the complexity of our challenges and the multifaceted approaches we can take to address them. As we stand at this crossroads, it is essential to recognize the urgency of our situation. If we are to chart a sustainable course forward, we must embrace innovative technologies, strengthen international agreements, and actively engage our communities. Together, we can create a future where carbon levels are stabilized and our planet thrives. In this journey, each of us has a role to play, from policymakers to everyday citizens. The actions we take today will echo into the future, shaping the world for generations yet to come. The question remains, are we ready to meet this challenge with the resolve and creativity it demands? As we explore the future of carbon levels and climate outcomes, we must also acknowledge the impact of societal choices and individual actions. The intricate relationships among carbon emissions, technological advancements, and international commitments create a multifaceted landscape that we must navigate with care. One pivotal aspect is the potential for emerging technologies to reshape our approach to carbon management. Among these innovations, advancements in renewable energy technologies promise to transform the way we produce power. Imagine vast fields dotted with solar panels, each one silently harnessing the sun's energy, converting it into clean electricity. Wind turbines, with their graceful blades spinning in the breeze, transform kinetic energy into power without releasing carbon emissions. The transition to renewable energy sources is not just necessary, it is a beacon of hope that could significantly reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. As the climate scientist and renewable energy advocate Bill McKibben once noted, we need to stop burning carbon and start burning a new energy source. This shift could mitigate the very emissions that threaten our climate stability. In addition to renewable energy, the rise of electric vehicles represents another significant stride toward carbon reduction. Picture a city where streets are lined with cars that produce no tailpipe emissions, each journey contributing to cleaner air and a healthier urban environment. The electrification of transportation can dramatically lower carbon footprints, especially when powered by renewable energy sources. However, this transition is not without challenges. The need for charging infrastructure, battery production, and recycling programs requires thoughtful planning and investment. Moreover, the agricultural sector is undergoing a transformation as well. Innovative practices such as regenerative agriculture and precision farming are emerging as powerful tools for carbon management. Imagine a farm where cover crops are planted to prevent soil erosion, improve soil health, and sequester carbon underground. These practices foster resilience in the agricultural system, while also enhancing biodiversity. The renowned agroecologist Vandana Shiva has emphasized that the future of food is not in the hands of corporations, but in the hands of farmers. By embracing sustainable farming techniques, we not only nourish ourselves, but also contribute to a more balanced carbon cycle. International agreements, such as the Paris Accord, provide a framework for these advancements. These agreements encourage countries to share knowledge and resources, promoting a culture of collaboration. Envision nations coming together, united by a common cause, to create ambitious climate goals and strategies that reflect their unique circumstances. The commitment to maintaining global temperature increases within safe limits is a collective responsibility, and it requires the active participation of all nations. As we observe the role of international agreements, it becomes clear that accountability is essential. Countries must be transparent about their progress, sharing successes and setbacks alike. This transparency not only builds trust, but also fosters a sense of global solidarity. Imagine a world where nations celebrate achievements together, recognizing that each step toward carbon reduction is a victory for the planet. Community involvement amplifies these efforts, as individuals and local organizations mobilize to combat climate change. Grassroots movements have emerged around the globe, demonstrating that local actions can have far-reaching impacts. Picture a neighborhood where residents come together to promote energy efficiency, organize cleanup events, and advocate for sustainable policies. These community initiatives create a ripple effect, inspiring others to take action and contributing to a larger movement. Educational programs play a crucial role in empowering communities. Imagine a local school where students learn about the carbon cycle, the importance of biodiversity, and the actions they can take to protect their environment. By fostering awareness and understanding, we equip future generations with the tools they need to tackle climate challenges. When young minds are inspired to care for the planet, they become passionate advocates for change, extending their influence beyond the classroom. One powerful example of community-driven efforts is the rise of urban greening initiatives. Envision a cityscape transformed by green roofs and community gardens, where concrete is softened by vibrant plant life. These green spaces not only enhance urban aesthetics, but also contribute to carbon sequestration, improved air quality, and increased biodiversity. The interconnectedness of these elements, innovative technologies, international agreements, and community involvement paints a hopeful picture of the future. Each thread in this complex narrative contributes to a larger story of resilience and adaptation. As we move forward, Embracing these diverse approaches will be critical to achieving our climate goals. While the challenges are substantial, they are not insurmountable. The commitment to reducing carbon levels and fostering a sustainable future requires collective action, creativity, and determination. The question we must ask ourselves is, are we prepared to leverage our resources, knowledge, and passion to create a healthier planet? As we stand at this critical juncture, the choices we make will shape the legacy we leave for generations to come. The journey ahead is not just about mitigating climate change. It is about nurturing a world where life can flourish, ecosystems can thrive, and communities can prosper. Each step we take, no matter how small, contributes to the broader narrative of our relationship with the carbon cycle. In this dance of existence, we have the power to influence our future. The landscape of carbon management is further enriched by the growing recognition of the role that nature itself plays in this intricate system. As we consider future trends, the concept of nature-based solutions emerges as not only viable but essential to our carbon reduction strategies. Imagine vast wetlands, their waters shimmering under the sun, serving as natural sponges that absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere while providing habitat for countless species. These ecosystems are invaluable, acting as buffers against climate change while also enhancing biodiversity. Restoration of ecosystems such as mangroves, peatlands, and forests can sequester significant amounts of carbon. The act of replanting trees in deforested areas, for example, is a tangible way to restore balance. Each sapling planted is a step toward healing the planet, utilizing the natural processes of photosynthesis to draw down carbon. The environmentalist Wangari Maathai encapsulated this spirit, stating, "It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference. My little thing is planting trees." This grassroots approach reveals the immense power of community-driven initiatives that align closely with nature's own rhythms. As we explore these strategies, it is also essential to consider the economic implications of carbon management. The transition to a low-carbon economy presents both challenges and opportunities. Picture a marketplace bustling with innovation, where businesses flourish by prioritizing sustainability. The development of green technologies, from renewable energy to energy-efficient appliances, opens avenues for economic growth while reducing carbon footprints. By investing in sustainable practices, economies can thrive and create jobs, all while actively participating in the global effort to combat climate change. This shift also requires us to rethink our consumption patterns and the very fabric of our economies. Imagine a world where products are designed with their entire life cycle in mind, emphasizing durability, recyclability, and minimal carbon impact. The circular economy presents a compelling model where resources are reused and waste is minimized, ultimately leading to a significant reduction in carbon emissions. This paradigm shift not only addresses environmental concerns, but also promotes resilience in our economies, ensuring that they can adapt to future challenges. The role of education cannot be overlooked in these efforts. Picture classrooms filled with curious minds, learning about sustainable practices and the importance of the carbon cycle. Education empowers individuals to make informed choices, fostering a culture of sustainability that transcends generations. Initiatives that integrate environmental education into curricula can inspire future leaders to innovate and advocate for change. Moreover, the importance of public policy in facilitating these transformations cannot be overstated. Imagine policymakers grappling with the complexities of climate action, crafting legislation that incentivizes carbon reduction and supports renewable energy initiatives. Transparent and accountable governance is crucial, ensuring that commitments made through international agreements are met with concrete actions. As we reflect on the interconnectedness of these themes, nature-based solutions, economic shifts, education, and policy, it becomes clear that a multifaceted approach is necessary to address the challenges posed by climate change. Each element interacts with the others, creating a robust strategy for managing carbon levels and fostering a sustainable future. In the face of these intertwined challenges and opportunities, we must ask ourselves, how can we harness the collective power of technology, nature, and community to foster meaningful change? It is a question that invites us to engage deeply with the possibilities that lie ahead. The journey toward a balanced carbon cycle is not merely a scientific endeavor. It is a testament to our capacity for innovation, collaboration, and resilience. Ultimately, the future of the carbon cycle hinges on our willingness to embrace these complex dynamics, fostering a world where ecosystems flourish, economies thrive, and communities unite in the common goal of sustainability. The path may be filled with obstacles, but with each step taken in the right direction, we pave the way for a healthier, more harmonious planet. Chapter 10: Taking Action: What Individuals Can Do. In the face of environmental challenges, individuals possess the power to enact meaningful change through simple lifestyle adjustments. Imagine standing in your kitchen, contemplating the choices you make daily. What if you could reduce your carbon footprint with just a few conscious decisions? One of the most impactful changes begins with our diet. By incorporating more plant-based meals, we not only nourish our bodies, but also contribute to a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. The livestock industry is one of the largest contributors to carbon emissions, releasing methane, a potent greenhouse gas, during digestion. When we choose to embrace more fruits, vegetables, and grains, we not only enhance our health, but also lessen our impact on the planet. Another effective change is in our energy consumption. Picture the warm glow of energy-efficient LED bulbs illuminating your living space. These small adjustments can lead to significant reductions in energy use. By switching to energy-efficient appliances and utilizing natural light whenever possible, we can significantly lower the demand for electricity, which primarily comes from burning fossil fuels. Imagine the satisfaction of knowing that each flick of a switch translates into a tangible benefit for our environment. Transportation is another area ripe for improvement. Imagine the fresh air of a morning commute, where instead of isolating yourself in a car, you choose to ride a bicycle or take public transit. Not only does this reduce carbon emissions, but it also fosters a sense of community and connection with the world around you. Carpooling and walking are additional strategies that not only diminish our carbon footprints, but also enhance our well-being through increased physical activity. Equally important is the act of reducing waste, particularly plastic waste, which contributes to the pollution of our oceans and ecosystems. Picture a beach, once pristine, now marred by plastic debris. By opting for reusable bags, bottles, and containers, we can actively combat this growing crisis. Each choice we make to reduce single-use plastic sends ripples through our communities, encouraging others to follow suit. The mantra of reduce, reuse, recycle becomes a guiding principle in our daily lives, creating a collective commitment to preserving our planet. Yet, while individual actions are vital, they are most powerful when paired with advocacy and education. Imagine a gathering of passionate individuals, each armed with knowledge and the desire to inspire change. Advocacy extends beyond personal choices. It is about raising awareness and urging collective action. Engaging in conversations about climate change, attending local meetings, and supporting policies that prioritize sustainability can amplify our impact. Education plays a crucial role here. Think about the last time you learned something new that changed your perspective. The more we educate ourselves and others about the implications of climate change, the greater our ability to influence societal norms and policies. Consider figures like Greta Thunberg, whose voice resonated with millions, sparking a global movement for climate action. When we share insights about our planet's health, we empower others to take action. Education is a catalyst for change, transforming apathy into urgency and individual efforts into a collective force. It is through knowledge that we can dismantle the barriers to understanding the climate crisis. Supporting sustainable practices within our local communities is another avenue through which individuals can contribute to a healthier planet. Imagine a local farmer's market bustling with life, where the air is filled with the sense of fresh produce. By choosing to buy from local farmers, we not only support the local economy, but also reduce the carbon footprint associated with transporting goods over long distances. Such practices promote a cycle of sustainability, connecting consumers directly with the sources of their food and fostering a greater appreciation for the environment. Engaging in community projects, such as tree planting or cleanup drives, allows individuals to see the direct impact of their efforts. Picture a neighborhood coming together to plant trees, creating green spaces that enhance biodiversity while sequestering carbon. These activities not only contribute to environmental restoration, but also strengthen community bonds, creating a shared sense of purpose and belonging. Collective action is paramount in the fight against climate change. It is not merely the sum of individual efforts, but a powerful movement that can reshape policies and industries. Imagine a world where communities unite to demand change, where voices are raised in unison to advocate for a sustainable future. Collective action amplifies individual voices, creating a chorus that can resonate through the halls of power. It is through such unity that we can challenge the status quo and push for large-scale systemic changes. The power of collective action is evident in movements inspired by both grassroots organizations and global campaigns. Consider the impact of global climate strikes, where millions gather to demand urgent action from leaders across the world. This is a reminder of the strength found in numbers, showcasing how individual actions can converge into a powerful force capable of driving legislative change. Perhaps you have experienced the exhilaration of standing shoulder to shoulder with others, all united by a common goal. Collective action fosters a sense of hope, reminding us that change is possible when we work together. It is a testament to the idea that while individual actions matter, we are truly stronger together. As we embrace these lifestyle changes, engage in advocacy, support sustainable practices, and participate in collective action, we weave a narrative of hope and resilience. Each step taken, no matter how small, contributes to a larger movement toward a sustainable future. Imagine the world we can create together, where vibrant forests thrive, clean oceans abound, and communities flourish in harmony with nature. In this journey, let us remember that every action counts. The choices we make today shape the world we leave for future generations. Together, we have the ability to nurture our planet, ensuring that it remains a haven for all forms of life. As we take these steps, we not only contribute to the health of our environment, but also to our own well-being, fostering a deeper connection to the world around us and to each other. As we embrace the role of advocacy and education, we must also recognize the profound impact of supporting sustainable practices in our local communities. Imagine walking through a neighborhood where gardens bloom with native plants and households practice composting, reducing waste, and nurturing the earth. These small, community-driven initiatives can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to adopt similar practices and fostering a shared commitment to sustainability. Local initiatives often center around the concept of community-supported agriculture. Picture a farm where members participate not just as consumers, but as active contributors. They support local farmers by purchasing shares of the harvest, ensuring that food is grown sustainably and consumed fresh. This connection between producers and consumers not only reduces the carbon footprint associated with transporting food, but also strengthens the local economy. By choosing to buy locally, we empower our neighbors and support agricultural practices that prioritize environmental health. Another powerful way to support sustainable practices is to engage in local environmental organizations or conservation efforts. Imagine joining a group dedicated to protecting a nearby wetland or restoring a riverbank. These hands-on experiences allow individuals to witness the direct benefits of their efforts. As they plant trees or clean up litter, they foster a deeper relationship with the land, understanding that their actions contribute to the broader health of ecosystems previously discussed. Advocacy also extends to influencing local governments and policies. Envision attending a town hall meeting where community members voice their support for green initiatives. When citizens come together to advocate for renewable energy projects, sustainable transportation options, or improved waste management systems, they can shape the policies that govern their lives. Collectively, the voices of the community can push for legislation that prioritizes environmental sustainability, creating a legacy of stewardship for future generations. The notion of collective action is woven into the fabric of these community efforts. When individuals unite for a common purpose, they amplify their impact. Have you ever felt the energy in a room filled with passionate individuals rallying for change? That sense of belonging can transform a solitary effort into a powerful movement. It is through collective action that we can address systemic issues that contribute to climate change, such as fossil fuel dependence or unsustainable land use practices. Consider the example of cities that have successfully implemented green infrastructure projects. Imagine a bustling urban area where green roofs and permeable pavements reduce stormwater runoff and improve air quality. When residents advocate for these solutions together, they not only enhance their own quality of life, but also contribute to the resilience of the entire city. Collective action in urban planning can reshape the way communities interact with their environment, promoting sustainability at every level. Community resilience is built through these shared efforts, providing a buffer against the impacts of climate change. By creating local networks of support, individuals can better adapt to changes in their environment, whether it be through preparing for extreme weather events or addressing food security concerns. When people come together to share resources and knowledge, they cultivate a sense of security and empowerment. Yet, the journey of advocacy, education, and community engagement does not stop at local boundaries. Collective action can extend to global movements, uniting individuals across continents in pursuit of a common cause. Imagine millions of people gathering in solidarity on a single day, raising their voices for climate action. The power of such collective efforts can influence international policies and drive the momentum needed to address global challenges. As we contemplate these possibilities, we can draw inspiration from the words of environmental leaders who have championed the cause of sustainability. Their teachings remind us that when individuals unite with purpose, they can create waves of change that echo far beyond their immediate surroundings. The significance of these movements lies not just in the outcomes they achieve, but in the connections they forge among individuals, communities, and the planet itself. In this interconnected world, the actions we take, whether small or bold, contribute to a larger narrative of hope and resilience. The choices to support local farmers, advocate for sustainable policies, and engage in community projects are threads woven into the fabric of our future. Each one of us has the potential to ignite change, to inspire others, and to foster a culture that prioritizes the health of our planet. By understanding the role of our individual actions within the greater context of collective efforts, we can better appreciate the interconnectedness of our challenges and solutions. It is a reminder that while the journey may be long and complex, the path forward is illuminated by the collective light of those committed to making a difference. As we consider the myriad of ways to take action, let us hold onto the vision of a thriving planet, where communities flourish in harmony with nature, and where the echoes of our efforts resonate across generations to come. Imagine a world where future generations inherit not just a livable planet, but a vibrant tapestry of life, nurtured by the love and care we show today.